And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your honor host, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome today New York Times bestselling author, the legendary Lisa Lutz, here to give us the inside scoop on this exclusive pre-launch event in collaboration with Murder by the Book, my partner in crime, about her brand new red hot and riveting book, The Accomplice, which I am devouring. I can't wait to get into it. Lisa, welcome to Mystery and Thriller. Mavens, tell us about The Accomplice.
Well, first, thanks for having me. It's very nice to be here. Okay. Oh, here, I brought a prop. Here's The Accomplice. This is my latest. It's a crime novel about two friends, and there are two different timelines. So we see them in their college years, and then we see them in their mid-30s, and they are still close friends in their 30s. And basically, in the past, there's a suspicious death, and in the present, the more recent timeline, there is a murder. And it's about sort of how relationships shift over time, and it's about how well you know someone, and how these different little moments in your life can shift your perception. And we all have friends where we think we would trust them to the ends of the earth, but at what point would you have doubt? And it's sort of about that moment. What creates that moment of doubt?
Ooh, I love that. And I am loving this book. And I have so many questions for you, Lisa. And I can't wait to get into every single bit of it because I've been a fan of your work since The Passenger. So lots of questions brewing, and the audience has lots of questions too. So I just want to welcome everyone who is watching on Facebook, watching on YouTube, Murder by the Books channels, my channels, and our private Facebook group, Mystery and Thriller Mavens, on Bitchy Bookworms, the best book group on the internet. Wherever you're watching from, you're in the right place. This is the right time. And this is your chance to ask this incredibly well-respected, incredibly successful author anything you want. Let's get into it. Darla is saying good afternoon. Darla, welcome to the conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you. Leisha Haney, good to see you, girl. She says, hi, Sara and Lisa. Hi, Leisha. Great to have you.
This is very surreal. I've never done this before.
And Lisa Joy says, hi, Sara and Lisa. I am so excited for this. And Nisa, welcome to the conversation. Always a pleasure to have you. So Anissa does a ton with friends in fiction. She does Instagram Lives with Jenna Bush Hagar. She's a big deal. Anissa, welcome. Thanks so much for coming to hear us today. Leisha says, congratulations, Lisa. Your book sounds very intriguing. Leisha, it is extremely intriguing. So let's start to get into this. We have a mysterious, which is on brand for us, a person joining us, a Facebook user, saying hello. I had no idea this was happening. This is awesome. Hey, it's meant to be. Welcome to the conversation. And I like your mysterious anonymous persona here. Okay, so Lisa, this book is racking up incredible praise that you have earned. Congratulations. Let's start to talk about how you did it. So as you said, we have two timelines. We have Owen and Luna, best friends, both of them, let's say, unique people in their own right. Their friendship is unique in terms of they've never dated. Both are straight. He's, a straight dude and a straight woman. But they've never dated. They have this incredible, which is unusual. Then they're best friends in college. Now they live very close to each other, and they're in their town as adults. He's married to someone else. She's married to someone else, but they're still BFFs. Mysterious death then, mysterious death now. A lot's going on, and you're revealing it and reeling us in bit by bit. But you got these two timelines. You got multiple perspectives, including the detectives who are investigating the murder. Let's talk about how did you do that? Are there just Post-it notes on every wall in your house? Or you just, what's the skinny?
Well, yeah, I can't show you, but I get these. They're like giant Post-its, and I put them on the wall. So it's basically like you're writing on the wall. They're like, 3 feet by 5 feet. So they're just, you paper the wall. And then I always start with some frame of an idea. And then I sort of work from there. And I do tend to take a while just letting thoughts marinate and figuring out sort of, what do I want to, it's more for me like an instinctual, a feeling type thing. And then I get into sort of the structure of it as I'm working on it. I'll start to build a structure very slowly. I don't outline everything right up front, but there definitely has to be something already there before I'll even start writing. So with this one, I mean, I actually started it several years ago, and I knew well, you don't know the ending, so it's not going to mean nothing to you, and I'm not going to tell anyone the ending. But I knew basically how the crime structure of it would work on a very sort of macro level, and I felt like I had a nice little thing in there. So knowing the ending gave me a lot of freedom, because it felt like, okay, I just need to get there. So I'm just going to do whatever I need to do to keep myself interested. And that's a big thing for me, because I get bored all the time reading things, watching things. I always turn things off. I always put books down. So I write for the short attention span person. So I think about that a lot. But it's not so much a calculated, like, how can I sell more books? It's more like, I know how I'd be as a reader, so I need to do this. And so that's sort of the basics of how I get started. And then working out the relationships, that's always fun for me, because I really like the feeling when you're writing, when you feel slightly crazy and like ideas don't necessarily follow a traditional pattern. That makes me feel good. That always makes me feel like I'm doing something right. So yeah, that's rare. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by I get bored very easily, Lisa confesses. Oh, I did not know it was going to be like that. These things written down. So now I feel like I have to be careful.
Okay. No, Lisa, this is the Las Vegas of interviews. What happens on Mystery and Thriller Mavens stays on Mystery and Thriller Mavens. We're here for the deep, dark confessions, the the never before revealed. We're here for the secrets.
Sorry.
Lisa would like to know what inspired you to write this book. Oh, Lisa, great question as always. So, Lisa, do you have a slightly strange best friend who has turned out with mysterious deaths? Are you fascinated by friendship, by trust? What was the hook for you, you easily bored woman?
I mean, I'm always interested in writing about different types of relationships. I definitely have several friendships with men that are platonic and have a long history. But I'm interested in friendship as a subject in general, because I think you could do this story with two women. It might not be quite as interesting, but it's still, the nuts and bolts of it are the same, in that something can always make that belief in someone shift, or we all have friends when we learn something new about them, and it can be something really benign, but it completely changes what you think. Like, this is a stupid example, but it has happened to be so many times with friends where I discover they're really into karaoke, and I'm like, really? And it just totally shifts everything I think I know about them. Yeah.
I am cackling at the idea of someone telling you, oh yeah, I'm really into karaoke, and you being like, this changes everything. Who are you, Steve? Who are you? I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So funny. So besides Karaoke Confessions, what else has taken you by surprise, has made you question what this is? Was a Karaoke Confession what hooked you into writing the story about Owen and Luna?
No, but I mean, I do think that I think I'm actually in general, like, really good at sort of figuring out who people are. And the only example I can say that where I really felt blindsided, I really can't tell you because it's too bizarre and kind of gross, and it's private. But it was like a family showed me their underbelly at some point, and I was like, whoa, I thought they were so sort of ho-hum normal. And then I realized, oh, I'm wrong. And it wasn't a dark side. It was just a weird side that was very fun and strange. But I don't know why I thought they were so normal, when I don't know that I think anyone really is.
Is that what informed your portrayal of Owen's parents, who at first seemed like the very happy family, but then once they have thrown back a couple cocktails, somebody's getting strangled on the lounge chair?
I mean, it may have been. I definitely don't write from real life inspiration as much as maybe someone else might. Like, I really like feeling as if it's all coming from nowhere. I think I like that feeling more than the feeling of, oh, I had this idea from that. Because if you get an idea from something tangible, you might stick to it too much. Whereas if you don't think if you think the idea just is an idea, like I would rather write like pretending I'm playing a choose your own adventure, like, oh, that looks more fun, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Very cool. Leisha says, thank you so much for answering my question. She'd also like to know, did you have the title before or after you wrote the book? So The Accomplice, give us the story of the title.
So I didn't. With my last book, The Swallows, there was a very lengthy discussion about the title, and it did take a while for me to be wed to that title, but once I wasn't backing down, and I was really adamant about that. But I am the sort of person where I only fight battles I really believe in. So I didn't have another title, and so I wasn't going to fight for. I think I was calling it Owen and Luna, and I knew it was probably not going to be that. So I didn't fight for it. And then at some point, my friend Dave, who he reads all of my books and does he copy edits and gives me notes, and he's read everything. He just offhandedly said, "Oh, you could use The Accomplice as a title." And then I sent it to my editor and my agent and everyone, and they loved it immediately. And then there was no more discussion.
Oh, that's so cool. So Dave just is casually, over his
He's really
sandwich.
good at that kind of thing. He's really good at that kind of thing. Yeah.
I love that. Lisa, let's go back to the giant Post-its on your walls because I'm intrigued by that. I'm a giant Post-it fan myself. And this idea of, you have of the generation of the idea and then how that turns up because Attica Locke, author of The Bluebird.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's called this book masterfully plotted. She said The Accomplice is both a keep you guessing mystery and a keenly and tenderly observed character study. So I love everything about that. But especially I was intrigued by the masterfully plotted. So what is the secret of a masterful plotter like you have pulled off on this book, like you have masterfully done? Tell us, I mean, how long does it take you? Do you drill down to the teeny tiny, like Jeffrey Deaver was on the show? He spends 6 to 9 months and 180 pages outlining. I mean, what's your process like?
No. I would never do that. You have to be a certain type of person to do that. Like I am lazier than most people I know. And so I definitely won't do something that feels like a lot of extra work. I understand he probably has a really good argument for that, but that feels such like work because I think a lot of writers, what they like the most is the writing of the actual, whatever it is. It's not the outlining. I mean, Deaver may really love outlining, but he's also doing it for a very specific reason.
Yes.
And I'm not doing it because it takes the sort of spontaneity and fun out of writing for me, but also because I'm lazy and it feels like work. It feels like bad work. And I say that knowing that writing any kind of thing is a pretty good job.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when you are not plotting, I mean, because this book is complicated with the 2 different timelines and with all of the secrets and everything, which I do as a reader have the sensation as I'm reading it of being masterfully reeled in. I feel myself being a fly being wheeled into the spider's web, and yet I must fly toward it because I've got to know what happened. Yeah. So do you go back and think, oh, I need to amp up a little more tension here, or maybe I should drop a clue here, or maybe the parrot should be weirder, or I mean, or it just flows out of you like that?
No, I mean, I revise heavily, and some of the even bigger plot twists, some came in later than first drafts. So, which I don't even know if you've gotten to yet. So I'm not going to say anything, but I definitely revise a lot. But if I'm doing 2 different timelines, I do have some sort of internal sense of like where I want things in a very vague way, but I don't write like one timeline and then separately another. I write them in order, and then I keep a lot of notes as I'm going along, and I just write myself a note so I know what's coming next, what needs to come next. But for me, it is very much about like how I feel writing it. And if I feel like it's working, if I feel engaged and not stuck, it tends to work. It just also needs a lot of work afterwards.
Ooh. Oh, I love that. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Anissa would like to know, where do you find inspiration if you are having trouble? Great question, Anissa. I'm leaning in for the answer.
I don't know.
On those days when it's not flowing, where you don't feel good about it, where you do feel stuck, do you do what Dean Koontz shared that he did? He does not let himself get up. He will not leave the chair for 9 hours until it's done. Or do you say, you know what, I'm going to take a break, refresh, reset, and come back?
Yeah. Once again, man, you've got like all these real type A people. I'm not type A. So, I mean, if it's not working, I'm like, sometimes I sit there and think, when can I retire? No, I mean, look, if you use a word quota, there's a lot of ways to trick yourself into getting it done. I think that can help for a lot of people, where you're just like, oh, just write crap. And you just have to forgive yourself for writing crap. So that's like, I'm giving the lazy person. I mean, if you can sit in a chair for 9 hours, you're not me. I would have had 3 more books out by now. I would be a totally different person if I mean, I wouldn't even know who I was. I wouldn't write these books. So I don't know. I think every writer has to recognize what is your thing and like accept that and realize that, you know, if you try to emulate anyone else, or if you try to be someone you're not, it's going to show in the writing.
Ooh, I love that, because you have a very signature, very Lisa Lutz style, where it's that same, you are being drawn inexorably into a web. You know some shit's about to go down, but you've got to know what it is. Everybody's got something to hide. And I liked also that Attica Locke said that it was also a keenly and tenderly observed character study, because the way that you speak of, I'm saying like they're real, the way that you have created Owen and Luna is with empathy and compassion and care and, yes, tenderness, even though they are both, as we all are, highly imperfect people.
I mean, that is actually a tricky thing when you're trying to leave the window open so that people have doubt on all the characters. But I do think it's a bad idea to write a character that you, at least the writer, they need to be fully fleshed out, which means that even if they're not necessarily a good person, you have to care about them. You have to you have to understand every sort of step of who they are. So that was actually one of the trickiest parts, like creating the doubt, but still fleshing them out and making them sort of matter.
Oh, I love that. You have to care about these people. Yeah, I love this. Margaret Pinard, welcome to the conversation. Thank you for joining us from the Pacific Northwest. Great to have you here, joining us from Portland, Oregon. And she's saying, forgive yourself for writing crap. Amen, Lisa. Yes. Can we all forgive ourselves for writing crap? Thank you. Oh, yeah. Alicia would like to know, so many writers, Lisa, say that their characters talk to them. Do your characters talk to you? And if they do, have you had to change something in your story because of it? I love this question.
They don't talk to me. I think there's probably meds for that. But I will say that there's something where, as you are writing your character and you get to know them better as you would a real person, you start to realize that things you might have had them do, you can't let them do. And I found that happening. I mean, my ending, like one part of the ending changed because of how I wrote the characters, and I realized, oh, I can't do what I thought I was going to do.
Ooh.
It didn't change the structure of the crime story, but it changed the sort of emotional ending.
Well, I will be very curious. So when I get to the ending, I'm about halfway done. I'll be very curious to see if I can guess it, Lisa. And
I
I
think
mean,
you will. I think you'll be able to guess.
oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Now I feel like if I don't get it, I'll be like, idiot, idiot,
No, no, no,
idiot.
no, 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 no.
Oh my gosh. So Lisa, The Accomplice has been named one of the most anticipated books of 2022 by both Pop Sugar and Crime Reads. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
When you got the word, what did that feel like? Were you like, oh yes, my work is being received with the intention that I sent it out with? Or were you like, holy crap, it's working?
I mean, I definitely had a lot of, with this book, I think it's been better received than I expected. I was just like, I felt like I was writing a book that was just for me. Like, so I really didn't think people would be that into it. I thought, I need to not be bored. So I'm going to write this, just my kind of book. And then, so people are liking it more than I expected, which is great. But yeah.
Why do you think that it was unexpected? Was it just a feeling that you had, or something about the characters and their quirkiness, or the story itself, or you just always feel, as we all do, like, oh God, I hope that somebody likes this story. I hope it works.
I mean, I think that you go through phases, like ever since I quit writing the Spellman books, you know, it's not like people like get that. I mean, some people really like my books. Some people are annoyed that I'm not writing a Spellman book. And then some people are sort of a little bit alarmed by the way I use humor in a more traditional crime novel. So I don't, you know, it's like a lot of people tend to not, you know, I have people who love it, but I have a lot of people who don't. And so I've stopped sort of having any, like, I just stopped thinking about that stuff. It just doesn't help you, and there's no way to predict. But I think for me, it's better to just predict people to go, meh, than to expect people to really be into something and then be disappointed.
Oh, Lisa, let me ask you, because we live in a social media world, and Andrea Bartz, who just actually shared on Twitter, she was her latest book was picked in, was it August or September? August, by Reese Witherspoon's Best Book Club, Book of the Month.
Congratulations.
Amazing. She was on in September, and she just tweeted this morning that someone gave her book a negative review and tagged her in it. You know, basically, and she was saying that, you know, she struggles with what to do when someone says that. You know, do you ignore it? Do you respond? And so her response has become, you know what? Well, I tried, and the shrugging emoji, which I think is kind of a perfect response. But in a world of social media where, you know, previously we might have only been seeing newspaper reviews or journalism reviews. Now there's a lot, you know, Bookstagram community has everyone reviewing. Are you able to ignore those reviews? Do you look at them? Do you ignore them? I mean, what's that like for you?
I mean, I'm really good at ignoring people. I mean, I'm not very active on social media. I don't thank people enough when they write good things about my book. So I would never, ever, ever respond to someone who wrote something negative. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And that's your problem. It's not my problem.
Exactly.
I also think that if you're the sort of person who tags someone on social media about something you hate, or you write me a letter or whatever, like, I don't care what you think. I'm clearly not writing for someone like you. So yeah, and I think it's actually, I would caution any writer to just let it go. It does not matter, and do not engage. I never engage with that. I don't think it's healthy. I also think you're giving them something they kind of want, attention, and, you know, they're being a jerk. Don't give them attention for that.
I like that. I like that. And I struggle myself with not reading or hanging on to the negative reviews. So I'm going to try to embrace your Lisa Lutz energy and just not give a crap.
No, it's not going to help your writing ever. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Darla saying, yay for Portland, Oregon. Fantastic. Leisha saying, oh, wow, I love your answers. Thank you so much again for answering my questions. Leisha, that's what we're here for, to connect readers and authors and authors and readers and get to ask questions about your books. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, I like that. Karen says she loves your use of humor in the thriller genre. Me too, because you know
Thank
what?
you.
I love
Thanks,
laugh. Margaret would like to know, is it different to evict your own inner editor than it is to evict public opinion from your writer brain? Cool question, Margaret.
I got to think about that for a second. I mean, there's no eviction going on in my, let's say, I'm honestly, like, I'm so tired. I feel like this is a really hard question because I'm trying to understand it. I don't, my inner editor, like the inner editor, because I feel like the editor, I could do something about it when I'm working on the book. So that editor I can make amends with. The public opinion thing, like, I really am of the school that, like, especially, like, I learned this with the Spellman files. If you have a book that if everyone loved that book, I wrote it wrong. Like, there were some people who really, really didn't like some of the characters, and they would write me these crazy letters. And I thought, oh, that's good, because if everyone likes it, there's something, first of all, that never happens. But in life, if you create a character, I mean, not everyone likes one person. And I actually think it's a good sign when some people sort of really hate something. Like, I've always found, like, the 1-star review much more fun than the 3.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Oh, I love that. Oh, this is resonating with so many. Margaret also quoting you. If everyone loved the book, I wrote it wrong. Lisa, I love that, she says. Absolutely. Negative karma, she says, need not apply to right. I love that. We're getting hearts up from our mysterious friend. Thank you so much. Fernandez saying, says, I found that readers who criticize are one of your biggest fans. Ooh, fascinating perspective. I never thought of it like that, Fernandez. Thanks for chiming in. Welcome to the conversation. A pleasure to have you. We are streaming live to, I think, 6 or 7 different platforms at once. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're everywhere right now. I can see all of your comments, though. This is your time to chat with Lisa. So, the incredible New York Times best-selling Lisa Lutz. So, any questions you have, get them going. We have a few minutes left, so just get them going in the comments. Ooh, and Nisa said, if you do not like a book, forget that you read it, and especially don't tag the author. Exactly. And Nisa, it's so fascinating why people feel the need to whatever happened to that old adage of, you don't have something nice to say, just don't say something. It's something about social media has emboldened everyone to feel that their opinion is,
I think they're forgetting that it's social media and they're not just having a conversation with, like, someone they know. Because, like, I talk crap all the time about, like, oh, did you read oh my God, it was awful, or anything. That's fine if the person doesn't hear it. But to, like, someone you don't know, I mean, I also think there's, like, this certain bravado involved in, and not a good bravado involved in, thinking that I would care. Like, that's the part that weirds me out more than anything. Like, why you think I care? Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's the bravado the bravado of tagging the author of it's such an interesting, it's fascinating. I talk crap all the time is my new motto for 2022. That's going to become my new mantra.
It's really tripping me out seeing, like, I say something and then seeing it.
It's me. I'm live tweeting this.
How? While you're talking to me?
Yeah, I'm typing down here on my lap keyboard.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not doing the people who aren't me. The people who aren't me. I'm not doing 30 people here.
I know, but that's amazing that you can do that.
Oh, thank you. I've perfected it where I can actually maintain ocular focus and tactile type.
I'm legit impressed. It's like you did a triple axel.
And for my next act, I'll struggle. Oh my goodness. Margaret's questioning bravado or hubris. Amen, Margaret. Picking up what you're putting down.
Call it insanity, because that's what it feels like.
Yes. Exactly. I love that. Darla says, new author for me. Hey, that's what we're here about, right? I say mystery and thriller. I founded Mystery and Thriller Mavens to connect you to your favorite author and introduce you to your next favorite author. So, Darla, meet your next favorite author, Lisa Lutz, New York Times bestselling author Lisa Lutz. She said, where have I been? I will definitely check out her books. Sounds like an interesting and intriguing writer. She's fabulous. I've been following her work for years. Darla, do yourself a favor and grab a copy of The Accomplice today. In fact, everyone do yourself a favor and grab yourself a copy of The Accomplice, because let me tell you something. This book ain't even out yet. It is out tomorrow. And when you place your pre-order today from the good folks at Murder by the Book, our favorite independent woman-owned.
I love Murder by the Book.
Yay, we love Murder by the Book. When you place your order with them, the good folks at Murder by the Book will ship it out to you tomorrow. So I just popped the link in the comments. Grab your copy now. Do yourself a favor, because you guys, I'm riveted. I have to know what happens to Owen and Luna and this master spider. I'm the fly in the scenario is just reeling me into the web. Oh my goodness. Margaret is saying Sara DiVello is a woman of many talents. Margaret, you are too kind. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody else's comments. I'm scrolling through. Okay, keep them going. This is your time to chat with Lisa. I want to pop over to Amy Gentry. She was on the show last year, and she raves Accomplice. The Accomplice is Lisa's greatest sleight of hand yet. I love that she used that for this. She said that this is at once a suspenseful thrill ride, a deep and disquieting meditation on friendship, and a Wes Anderson comedy rolling into one. So my goodness, talk about sleight of hand. What a rave review. I'm just popped into the comments. I'm not going to put it up on the screen because it would cover our faces, but it is in there. And she says so many more wonderful things. The incredible Amy Gentry. So everybody go check out that review. It's right there in the comments. But I love how she said all of that. Margaret's chiming in and saying, you've got to support our authors who are doing their dream products in defiance of market trends or audience demands. Absolutely, Margaret. There's courage, there's bravery, there's I love the energy of that. Lisa, let's talk about the sleight of hand. So clearly you in the role of the magician here. How do you think, from a craft perspective, you created a meditation on friendship, something that is to capture the intricacies and the nuances of that? Like I noticed when you have moments between Owen and Luna, they communicate sometimes just with, they can do it as we all do with your friends. A glance. She looks at something and she looks at him and he knows what she's asking. He inclines his head and she knows what that means. So there's these very quiet, very nuanced, complex, multi-layered, quiet moments. But then there's these big moments. She's jogging through the park and stumbles on Owen's dead wife's body. Like, how do you balance those?
I mean, I think the character, like with the first book I ever wrote, it was really all about character. And I think the more I read crime novels, the more I sort of understood the things that keep me hooked. And then I learned to use them maybe a little bit better, although I still stand by how I wrote the first Spellman books. But, if you like writing character and like figuring out, I in general always need to know what makes someone behave the way they do. It takes me forever to become really close with someone because I need to know what I'm dealing with, and that takes a while.
Yes. Yes. You have to know what you're signing on for. You have to know if you're going to enter into this friendship, to this relationship, if you're going to be an emotional charging port for this person and with them through the highs and lows of life, what baggage are they towing and what do they got in there?
But I like writing characters with this shorthand between them, and I like that in life. I think that comes naturally to me. I like unusual relationships. So character is always like, that's easy. Making sure you have the structure and the tension and all that stuff. They feel like two different parts of your brain. So it feels like something you can work on separately.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. Margaret is saying how I wish people came with content warnings. Absolutely.
That's
Like
great. Yeah.
your dating profile and actually your friendship profile should come with, and so much of the book is Owen trying to figure out what Luna is hiding in the college timeline. What is she hiding? Why is she getting these very mysterious, threatening letters? What's she hiding? And then in the present time, Luna's trying to figure out what Owen is hiding, why he has his wife turned up dead. And so it could, and that's sort of a fascinating thing. Like it could be like, Owen, good at, friendships, quick, quippy jokes, and we'll take you home for Christmas, but maybe a wife killer. Like, it could be like a pros and cons kind of, kind of list. Vicky saying Vicky, welcome to the conversation, by the way. She said, I loved the Spellman books. Yay.
Thank you.
Lisa, congratulations. Book List awarded you a starred review, which you fully earned. Raving an atmospheric, well plotted, and brilliantly narrated story, which is at once mysterious, suspenseful, and witty. I love that. I mean, when someone sort of, anoints you as witty, it's #daymade.
No, it's very nice.
Did you have any moments in the book where you like, I am quite witty? That was witty.
I'm sure there are lines in the book I probably was happy to have found, but yeah, there was no. It was. I mean, I spent a lot of time with the book just going. I can't remember where anything happens and trying, looking at the walls and being very unwashed and chaotic. So, yeah.
How long did it take you to write?
Well, because I took the break, it took me a little while to get back in. I mean, all books take longer than they used to for me. It used to be sort of like, I used to do a book a year. Now, I mean, I don't know. Let's say it took 9 months for a draft and then another 6 of revisions.
When you said
that's accurate.
When you sent it off to your editor, did they come back with anything that surprised you? You disagreed with, you had to negotiate?
I mean, so Kara Cesare, I have a feeling I'm pronouncing her name wrong, and she's been my editor forever. But I think I get into my head how you pronounce a name, and then no matter how many times someone tells me the correct way, so I apologize, Kara. But the thing about Kara is she's very good at, she understands what I'm trying to do, even when I'm not even 100% sure of it. So she doesn't try to put what I'm doing into some sort of mold that already exists. She sort of she gives me the freedom to let things be humorous in weird moments, even if we're dealing with a serious subject. She understands that that's how I look at life, and that's how I think. Like, earnestness makes me super uncomfortable, and I know that even in the darkest moments of my life, people have made me laugh. So there's no reason to not have something funny in a book about murder. So she's great about that. And no, I mean, I think it's important to find an editor who understands what you're trying to do. And if you feel sure about something, I mean, obviously you got to listen to your editor, but there's 2 different things. It's sort of like if you hear a note and it makes you go, oh, because you don't want to do the work, that's different than if you're like, no, that's wrong. So just ask yourself that. Is it that you don't want to do the work, or does it feel wrong?
Oh my gosh, I love that, because every single person who I have interviewed for the past, my God, almost 2 years, I have always said to them, how do you navigate feedback? How do you make sure you're not getting stuck in ego or laziness? Yeah. And yet also staying true to your vision, because if you let it get too diluted, it's going to be a big fat nothing. Like, it's going to be just a pile of putty. Yeah. So that balance of being open and not ego driven, but also staying true to your vision is a tough one to navigate. And I feel like this is the answer that I finally
it is the answer, because I think a note should resonate, unless you're just not open to anything. And then I don't know how good your book is going to be anyway, because you're only hearing, you have to hear other voices.
Right. You can't just be in we've all seen what happens if someone is in an echo chamber of yes men.
Yes.
That's not the way forward.
Right.
Nancy, welcome to the conversation. Thanks so much for joining us. She said, I love the humor in dark moments, right? It's such a moment of levity. It's such an unexpected little joy to find. It's like an Easter egg, a present. I love that.
Thank you.
Lisa, Publishers Weekly said quirky characters, humor. Again, everyone's appreciating that. Lisa loves humor in unexpected places, and a twisty but plausible plot keep the pages turning. And a twisty readers will be torn between readers and twisty but plausible plot keeps the pages turning. Readers will be torn between eagerness to get to the bottom of the novel's mysteries and reluctance for the adventure to end. Rave review from Publishers Weekly, who I believe the New York Times called reliably curmudgeonly. So we know that praise don't come cheap. Congratulations. All right, you guys, we have 5 minutes left. Any last questions for Lisa? Get them going in the comments. I think I can get 2 in, depending on how fast your little fingers can type. So get typing. I'm going to share just one more review because I really loved this one. Again, going back to Attica Locks, she talks about the beautiful friendship complicated by a strange body count that keeps growing around them. I was rooting for Owen and Luna, but murder has a way of testing the bounds of even the tightest of best friends. I just loved everything that she said. Okay, cool. Oh, hey, Thea Sutton. Welcome to the conversation. Thriller author Thea Sutton, who I was delighted to host in December. So happy to see you here. She says, Lisa, I love your work. Quick question. How do you manage the reveal moments in your books? Do you believe in waiting right till the end or a staggered reveal? I'm loving the specificity of this.
Yeah, I'm all for the staggered reveal. I mean, I also really like whenever I'm watching or reading something to just have throughout realizations that, there's this thing I didn't understand before, or seeing someone in a different light. It doesn't have to be a big plot twist. It can just be showing some side of a person or some other detail about their past that you didn't know, that's interesting, that somehow was hinted at before. I love things like that.
Is that something that you had to go back and stagger in revisions, or that just came to you in the beginning?
There was a lot that came to me, but then there was more that came later on. There was sort of a bigger sort of plot element that I added at the very end, but it worked and wasn't against, sort of the story.
I'm loving how you're giving us your own staggered reveal, Lisa, about staggered reveals. I'm having a very meta moment here. Okay. Ooh, another fabulous question. Debbie, welcome to the conversation. Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for tuning in. What are you working on now, Lisa?
So I'm moving out of the house I've lived in for the last 9 years. So that's basically been my job for 6 months, showing the house and then selling the house. And now I'm almost out. You can't see it, but there are boxes here. I'm starting my drive across the country Wednesday. So yeah, this is my second to the last night here.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. Moving is so disruptive. So thank you. Darla saying, thank you, Sarah and Lisa. I absolutely loved this interview. Darla, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. Y'all, I want to remind you again, this book is out tomorrow. It's not even out yet. This is an exclusive pre-launch event that we get to have with the incredible New York Times bestselling author, Lisa Lutz. Grab your copy today. I just popped the link in the comments. Grab it today. And the good folks at Murder by the Book are going to send it out to you tomorrow. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody's comments. Welcome, Kevin. Welcome, Nancy, Vicky, Kara, Karen, Roger. So great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Sherry, Kelly, Lisa, Ann, Debbie, George. Hey, George, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in from Texas. Sue, Sybil, Eileen, Christine Powers, Books of Grammar Extraordinaire. Thank you so much for being here. She is a politically read girl on Instagram. Mame, thanks for joining us. Dawn, I want to make sure I see everybody. Judy, Doris, Irma, thank you so much. Marjute, Nancy, Diane, Tony, Stacy, Karen, Jane. Oh my goodness. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Margaret saying congratulations and safe travels. Leach is saying, I enjoyed this interview so much. Your book sounds great. Thank you for sharing. Oh, Debbie would like to know if the books are signed. You know what? Let me check on that, Debbie. Lisa, do you know if the books at Murder by the Book are signed?
No, they're not. I'm sorry.
You know what? How about this? I have some very special. So I have found that book plates are a thing of the past because I'm an old fashioned girl. So I got a DIY kit and I am making my own book plates. So you know what? I will do a giveaway and I will send Lisa some book plates to sign and then maybe she'll sign them for us.
I will, absolutely.
Yay. Okay. So Debbie, buy your copy through Murder by the Book and then DM me your receipt on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. I do it all. Don't do TikTok. I'm rarely there. But send me your receipt and I will send you a signed book because that's the level of service we provide here.
Thank you.
Thriller Mavens. Anissa saying, thank you so much. Great chat as always. Y'all, I see we're out of time. We're having so much fun, but we got to let this woman get back to packing. So grab your copy of the book right now. Go get it. And then anybody, not just Debbie, but Debbie, thank you for asking. Anyone who wants to send me the copy of their receipt, I will get you a signed copy from this incredible author. All right, everybody. Oh, George says, been away from the interviews for a while. Welcome back. What a great one to get back into. I love your honesty. Lisa Lutz, you're a new author in my life. George Beach, welcome. Thanks for tuning in all the way from Texas. Leach is saying she's from Texas too. Have a great rest of the day and stay safe. Bye, everybody. Have a great night. And I will see you back at 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 and 7 Central. And I will have the next two authors, Jacqueline Machard and Heather Goodenkoff. See you then.